and hand it over to you, Josie. Oh, can't hear you. Unmute.
Just kidding. Okay. Can everybody hear me? All right. So Becca asked me to do this team call, and she asked me last night, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, sure, I'll do it. But it's going to be completely like impromptu, and I'm just going to be like super chill, no slides, and I will happily do Q&A at the end. So any questions you have, write them down for me. But real fast, raise your hand if you feel like you're struggling with your business. Yay, that's so good. Okay, good, because you should feel like you're struggling, because as business owners and entrepreneurs, like if you're not struggling, something isn't right. Like now that doesn't mean we always have to be in a state of stress, but I do want to tell you it's normal to feel like that, and it's good too because it means that you are trying. So I am a Success Club 10 All-Star legend, but I didn't even, like when Lindsay told me or announced it that I got it, I didn't even know, honestly. I don't know, I just go for it, and I go for it. However, on my Bombshell Dynasty team call, I did say I did not get the success starters when I first became a coach. I missed hitting Success Club, I think, in my second month, and that was the only month I did that. So it's really not about like what you've done in the past or anything like that. You can reinvent yourself and change your business at any stage of your journey. And that's a fact. You just have to want it. So I am a like no BS girl, straight to the point. And so one of the biggest things I think that's the most important is being super vulnerable on your page. And does everybody have a page? Raise your hand if you have a page. Yeah, most everybody. Okay, yeah, good. So I talk about my divorce on my page, which is not easy for me. I talk about having, been an abused wife, which is not easy for me. It's not like I love to talk about that stuff. I talk about my hearing loss now that I wear hearing aids, and I talk about a host of struggles I've gone through, and I don't talk about it for a pity party. I talk about it because I want to build trust with people. And so if at least once a week you are not sharing a deep, vulnerable post, you are not going to be building up the kind of trust with your audience that you could be. All the scripts in the world, you guys, won't matter if you're not building that trust with the people who are watching you. And people are always watching, even if they're not liking, even if they aren't commenting, maybe they're hating from afar, you don't know, but people are always watching. And I know that a lot of people, like, raise your hand if your family follows you, okay? So yeah, okay, so that can get awkward sometimes. Like sometimes you would expect your family to be like the ones who are like your biggest support and, have your back. And sometimes that is not the case. You guys, in December, I was like going through a hard time. And over the first half of the month, I completely slacked on my business. Now, I did not stop in my business. I have never stopped in my business, and I will never stop, even when I went through surgery and whatnot, because I know that consistency is key. But I wasn't promoting my challenge groups like I should have been. I wasn't being as much of a product of the product as I should have been. And so by December 28th, when Homegirl was at Success Club 4, I thought, yeah, I should probably get on this because I don't want to end 2015 like that. It had nothing to do with, my team. Like, yeah, I want to be a good example for them, but it was really because I didn't want to let myself down. Okay. So, and that's the biggest thing is you have to look at yourself, and before, you wake up in the morning and get on Facebook to see how many likes you have, you better be able to look in the mirror and like yourself first. That's how I feel. And so I knew I wasn't going to go out ending 2015 not following through with what I had wanted to do. And so I like messaged everybody. I was offering $25 gift cards to places of their choice. I even called my sister who turned me down. Like, and I even like offered to like, it was stupid. Like, I was just shocked that my own sister turned me down. But you know what? That's life. And I did end December with Success Club 10. And I don't know how it happened, but I went for it. So I think it's important to remember, like, a no is never a no. It's just a not right now. And I hear people say all the time, like, I'm getting so many no's. Like, that's okay. Like, when I first started my page, I was just sharing my journey. And all these people that were close to me and around me and like my clients, because I used to be a hairstylist, I was like, they're going to do this and it's going to be great. And like, none of them wanted to do it. It was one of those things where they're like, I'm going to watch you first. And then we'll see what happens, which is like so annoying. So that's where that went. But it was actually like mutual friends of theirs that would see me and message me and reach out to me. So honestly, you guys, you have to open up and you have to be vulnerable. We have so many scripts, you guys. It's not that we're lacking something. It's not that like maybe Becca's not giving you something, or I'm not giving something to my team, or Lindsay hasn't given us something, or Beachbody's not doing it. That really isn't it. And I will tell you, one thing with attraction marketing is you definitely don't want to preach at people. So does anyone in here follow Mama Laughlin? She's a blogger. I love her. And she actually works for Advocare now. She used to have her own blog, and that's how she like blew up the internet pretty much. But she's lost 70 pounds, but she has always kept it real. And it's someone I've admired. But basically when I'm following people who like aren't Beachbody related or anything like that, when I'm following their page, I just want to follow their journey, okay? I don't want them asking me questions like, well, what do you think? Or things like that, because to me, that conveys a lack of confidence. Now, if it's something like with an outfit choice, that's something different. And those are always great because those get a ton of comments. But when it's just like little things, I don't know, you got to think of it as, and now don't judge me, I do not watch the Kardashians. I do love Khloe Kardashian, but I don't watch the Kardashians. But you kind of got to think of it as in like a reality show. If you are watching the Kardashians, okay, and let's say Kim K's on camera, and then she turns and looks at the camera and is like, well, I wonder what my viewers think. What do you guys think? What should I do? Text your vote in now. Like, would that not be the most weirdest thing? Like, would you be like, what? Like, that's how I feel when I'm following somebody. Like, I think it's so important to make more statements than questions. And one thing with attraction marketing is figure out the injustices in the world and give them a voice, something that really speaks to you. Erin Carrasco did my team call in December, and I loved how she put that, because she and I are very similar in nature. I mean, like, I'm more like the gal where I'm like, rah, rah, and she's more silent, but she and I are very much alike. And we both strongly believe in women and independence and women being able to support themselves. So whether it's you believe that, or whether it's you believe in stay-at-home moms having a voice and, you know, bringing something to the table by helping the kids and earning an income, or maybe you want to have a voice for the animals who, you know, are in shelters or whatever it is, bring it to the table and talk about it at least once a week and state your opinion on it. Like, don't be vanilla. Don't just be vague about it. Like, state your opinion and be like, this is what I believe. I mean, I don't do that with politics because it's Facebook, but with things like that, I do that. And that's a lot of why I share my story too. And usually those injustices that you want to stand up for are something that have touched you on a deeper level. Like with me, when I went through a divorce, I didn't have any money. Money was used as power over me. It was a really bad relationship. And so my thing is, I want to raise up as many independent female entrepreneurs as possible. And I believe in equality. And to me, it's not about bashing men. I say that all the time to my team. It's not about bashing men. It's just about everybody having equal rights. and being treated with respect. So let's see. Okay, so it is important to over animate things on Facebook, and I really didn't get that until probably about 6 months ago. But when you are, like, I'm talking to you now, so you guys can kind of like see and feel my energy. But on Facebook, when people are reading something, like, my mom was an English teacher. Like, I grew up doing all proper grammar. Like, you don't use 3 exclamation points. What is that? You use 1. You know, like, but no, on social media, you got to over animate things. And I think a big thing with our society, at least what I have seen growing up and even now as an adult, is it's uncool to be excited about things. It's kind of looked at like, okay, calm down. But honestly, excitement and passion is what draws people into you, and it's what makes them take notice. Because how often are we scrolling through the newsfeed and it's just like same post after same post, but when you see somebody with like a super excited face, I mean, like, that stands out to you. One person's Bonnie Engel, okay? And I'm not saying you have to be the next Bonnie or anything, but whatever you're talking about, up the excitement with it just a little bit, and you'll start seeing a change in response to your post. One of my best friends, I don't know if you guys follow her page name is Cat Meets Kale. And when she started with me, she actually joined. She was one of my first coaches when I started Beachbody in October of 2013. And she quit a month later. She was like, they charge me $40, what was the club membership fee? And she's like, this is a scam. And so she quit. Well, in August, so that was in October, that next August, I just kept feeling like, okay, I need to approach her. I need to reach out to her. And we hadn't talked in a long time, but she'd been gaining a lot of weight. I was really worried about her. And so I said, hey girl, I know you thought Beachbody was a scam. Obviously it's not. You've seen that I've been able to go part-time with my job at the time. Now I'm a full-time coach. But I said, I think you'd be so good with it. And she's like, that's crazy. I was just praying. And then you just messaged me and blah, blah, blah. And so she went on to lose 80 pounds. She's done amazing. She was featured in the T25 commercial. But before she was featured in the T25 commercial, before she lost 80 pounds, I remember when she created her page a month after being in my challenge group. And every single post she made, like, she was so animated and so excited. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, she's going to make a fool of herself. I'm so worried. Like, oh my gosh. You know how you like worry about a friend, like kind of looking stupid if it's your good friend? I was worried for her. No, it took off. You guys, people want to jump on the excitement train, okay? Because I mean, look at society. Like, we're inundated with depressing things in the news every day, family drama, baby mama drama, whatever. So to see that passion and excitement, people latch onto that because we need that in our lives. And she has just soared. She's in the top 100. She averages more Success Club points than I do a month. She's just taken off. And so that's what I want to tell you. Like, whatever you're posting about, over animate it just a little bit and see if your engagement picks up. Okay, so when promoting challenge groups, what I do, this is what I've done the entire time I've been a coach. And I run a challenge, I run 21-day challenge groups, 28-day total if you include preseason. And I usually don't run back-to-back. I know a lot of coaches do back-to-back. I like to give myself about 2 weeks in between, but I usually always start my challenge group like the 3rd Monday of each month, just because that gives me time to get Success Club points. But so what I was going to say is whenever I promote for a challenge group, I promote it no less than 3 times in about a week and a half to 2 weeks. Probably, I'd say 2 weeks. So no less than 3 times whatsoever. It's like clockwork every single group. I don't change it up because it works. So why fix what's not broken, you know? So I will post about a challenge group. And I usually, with the first one, I'll get crickets. Okay. So the second time I post about it, let's say, and I'll usually post about it on a Tuesday night. Usually that next Tuesday, I'll post about it again. And when I post about it, again, I say I have 5 spots left for my next challenge group. You guys, I could have like 20 spots left. I don't care. I say 5 spots no matter what, okay? People like urgency. We're human beings. We're drawn to urgency. I'm drawn to it, all right? If I know I have all the time in the world, I will take all the time in the world, all right? You're talking to a girl who's always like 2 minutes late to everything. It was a miracle I was early to this call. I couldn't believe it. When Becca was still playing songs after like 8 p.m. Central, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I on time? Wow. So the second time I post, I have 5 spots left. All right, so that'll be on like that Tuesday. That Thursday, usually I always post them in the evening because that's when I have the highest traffic. That Thursday, that's when I will say I have 2 spots left for my next challenge group. If you're interested, message me now. And I usually, like, you guys, with these things, when people know you're talking about Beachbody, you're going to get not a lot of interaction on those posts. Just expect that. Even Janelle Summers said that on the National Wake Up Call a couple weeks ago. So that is why, like, the first sentence starts out with, I have 2 spots left, because if that's the only thing they read, that will get their brain going. And I don't make it a huge long post. I basically just say, if you're struggling with this, I'll make it like separate sentences, because a lot of people don't like to read a big, long, they like it kind of broken up. So I'll say, if you're struggling with this and this and this, message me. I can help you. All the women in my private support group have had an amazing experience. And I always make it sound exclusive no matter what. I use words like private, women only, exclusive, things like that, because those are words that draw me in, okay? I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. Like, I want to do things that are exclusive and private, and something that I know I'll get results from. Another thing with attraction marketing, oh, and by the way, I should say that third challenge group invite, that's when it's insane. And this last time, it was actually too insane. I mean, in one day I had 156 messages. Like, I was dying. Like, it was a blessing and a curse. But like, I mean, that urgency works, you guys. And I always, no matter what, say I have 2 spots left, even if I have 10 spots. They don't need to know that, okay? So remember that with your challenge group post. So another thing with attraction marketing is make sure to watch the language that you use. And I'm not talking about like cuss words or anything. I cuss all the time. But don't use the word you, because the word you comes across as accusatory. So I always like to use the words we or I or my or we, things like that. So if you're saying like when I follow people, if they are saying something like, did you know that if you just do this, you can blah, blah, blah? Like, to me, that's a turn off, because I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't need to be preached at. Like, that's how I feel. And that's actually like writing 101, is you don't want to use you, because it comes across to followers and readers as accusatory. So act as if like you're talking to your group of girlfriends, and so, you know, like we and me and mine, our. I definitely use our a lot. So let me see what else I have. Okay, so with attraction marketing, this kind of goes back to not necessarily the social injustices of the world, but keeping it real. If you don't like something, like, feel free to share it on your timeline or your page. I always try and end it with a positive outcome. So like, or a positive, I always try to end it on a positive note. That's like, that way it's not completely ranting. But here's the thing, like, we all have opinions, you guys, okay? We all have opinions, and you need to voice them, because that's what's going to draw like-minded people to you. Okay, you don't want just a bunch of random people. You want people like you, because that is what will help you grow your tribe. So that's why I talk about like strong, independent women and being a badass and being a boss and stuff, because I want women like that. Like, I want women who don't hold back. And like, my mom and I, we're complete opposites. Like, I swear, she's like this little short, petite, religious lady. She's literally like Mother Teresa. Okay, and then you have me, and I'm like, so we are so different, but I want to attract people like me. Okay, so I have no problems voicing my opinions. And I always try and talk as if I'm talking to my best friend. And you know why? Because most people, when they're on Facebook, they're not going to post as if they're talking to their best friend, because what you would say to your best friend isn't something that you'd say to the general public, all right? But you need to act as if you're talking to your best friend. It's going to draw people in, and they're going to relate to you, because how you talk to your best friend is how they talk to their best friends. It's true. And with your family following you, with people who don't agree with certain opinions you might have or statements you might make, you have to stand up for yourself. Like, it kills me when somebody's like, oh, somebody said, or somebody reacted negatively to my post and it hurt my feelings, so I took it down. Like, that kills me, because to me, that makes it like that person won, all right? And you have a right to voice your opinion. When I first started my page and I started getting more comfortable with posting and whatnot, I said a 4-letter word on my, I know we have kids on the call, so I won't say it, but I said a word that starts with S-H-I, and in my post. And my mom went on my post, my mom, like little Mother Teresa, and she goes in the comments on this public post and types, "I did not raise you like this. You know better." So like in front of all my followers, and I'm like, no, she didn't. So I deleted the comment, and then I called her, and she answered the phone, and she instantly like starts laughing because she knows she's in trouble. Okay. So I'm like, Mom, you cannot go on my public page and say things like that. And she is like, well, I didn't raise you like that. I don't like you speaking like that. And I said, okay, I understand that, but I'm a grown woman, Mom, and you got to love me regardless. So maybe you should just not follow my page. Feel free to block my page, but no, I still love you, okay? So that was when she realized she could block my page, and I gave her that option. She didn't want to do that. Of course she didn't want to do that. So now she's like all over my page, like my biggest fan. It's so cute. But you know what? Sometimes you have to stick up for you and what you're doing and your thoughts and opinions, no matter who it is, even if it's your sweet little Mother Teresa mom. Like, you got to put some people in your place. And I truly believe that we teach others how to treat us. And that goes for family. So I don't ever recommend deleting your post just because you get like a negative reaction to it. There's always those posts that we probably could have worded better. So I mean, you can edit it, or if you even want to take it down and repost it in a different way, that's fine. But you know what? Like, you can block people. My block list is so long. You can also just delete the comment. But I truly believe that you having a voice and stating what you believe in every single week speaks to people. So I also try and let my sense of humor show through on my page. So I'm on Pinterest. I think we're all on Pinterest, but I have a Pinterest board that's, I think it's called like Hilarious or something. And I will just take random memes from that. Like, shit I find so funny, and I'll just post it to my page. I usually do those posts like early in the morning, because then I don't have to think about it and I'm not a morning person. But you know, like, people like them, and it's attracting people who have the same sense of humor that I do, which is good, because you want people like you once again. Okay, so let me see if I have any other notes. I always say people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So what I've noticed when I post about my challenge groups, it's really not about, I mean, yeah, you can say like, so-and-so lost this many pounds or this many inches, but if you can say something like, I don't cover my belly when I sit down anymore with my purse because I'm not, I have more confidence, that speaks to people on a much higher level. Okay, so you got to think of things like about how people feel. Like, think about things you've struggled with, whether it's confidence-wise. Like, even if you've been naturally thin and you're like, I don't have a huge weight loss transformation, that doesn't matter, you guys. There have been people in Beachbody who have lost 100 freaking pounds and look amazing, but they're not killing it in their business, okay? And that all goes back to how you build trust with your audience. It doesn't matter your transformation, but you have to be able to speak to people on an emotional level. So you have to talk up their feelings, because no matter what, everybody wants to feel good. Everybody wants energy. Everybody wants to feel good. So I always try and mention things like that in my post for my next challenge group. Okay, So I think the biggest thing I could say is always act more than you think. Always act more than you plan, because it's so easy as business owners to think of all these grand ideas for our business and write them down and talk about them forever and have all these great strategies, and then we don't act on it because we're waiting for it to be perfect. That is going to cripple you. It is better to post imperfect things than not post the perfect things. Okay, so imperfect is great. That's fine, but just get it out there. Don't sit on posts. Don't sit on ideas. Write your ideas down, but then implement them, or get them posted. That was probably the biggest thing I would say that hindered me in 2015. Is I felt like I planned more than I acted. So this year I'm like nope, not waiting till everything's perfect. Not doing it. So you guys, does anybody have any questions for me? Anybody, you can raise your hand. We can go off mute or whatever. Thank you, Beth. Anybody? Okay, let me call on somebody. Becca, can people take themselves off mute? I think they can.
Yep.
Okay, Vanessa, take yourself off mute. I'm calling on you, girl. So, Vanessa.
I was
Hi.
typing out. Hi, by the way. You look so
beautiful. Hi. So tell me a struggle and a victory in your business from this past week.
Well, I was actually in the middle of typing out a question for you, if you don't mind. So you were saying to share our opinions and not be afraid of just like being true. Is there a certain point where you feel like there's a line that you don't want to cross? Are there any limits that you found that could maybe go too far, or is it kind of just live your truth and don't worry about it?
I think the only time, well, obviously I don't do politics. I feel like that's crossing a line. I think what crosses a line is, and I see a lot of this on Instagram. I don't see a lot of it on Facebook, some on Facebook, but I see more of it on Instagram, is making fun of other people. So with like the memes that have like, even if it's like nude leggings, like I get it, like nude leggings are awful, they're horrible. But if you post a picture of somebody else that's not you and it's a caption making fun of somebody, you better be like ready for backlash. And I've done that before in the past. And it wasn't that I was meaning to like personally hurt somebody. I just didn't think as well as I should have. And I just thought it was funny. But that I would say is probably, yeah, that's where I draw the line with I would say with humor. So, but for the most part, no, I mean, is there something that you're wondering about with you that would make you cross the line?
No, I mean, I feel like my views aren't too out there, but maybe religion. Do you feel like religion kind of falls in that same category, like religion, politics?
I think religion's religion. I think I'm more spiritual than I am religious, and I come from the same kind of background as Becca. We both grew up in a very religious family, and but I think you have to own whatever religion you are. I mean, if you're a person of faith, whatever your religion is, if it makes you happy and it makes you a better person, I think you need to own that, and I think you need to share about it, because that's something that you want to attract more people like that sharing your beliefs. So I would never tell somebody not to post about their religion.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else? Somebody's got to have questions. Questions are good. Any questions?
Don't be scared. I know a ton of you guys have questions about like pages, about turning people that message you into challengers, and there's really nobody better than Josie to answer them for you.
I can say, like, when people message me, they're like, hey, can you give me some information? Like right now I'm doing like intuitive eating groups. Can you give me some information about your intuitive eating group? I have my auto saved replies on my page, and I'll say, I would love to give you some info about my group. First, can you tell me your goals? How many sizes are you wanting to lose? I tell them I'm not worried about pounds because we don't use scales. And I ask them, do you need more energy? So they'll reply, and then I'll reiterate their goals. and I'll say, your goals are definitely doable. And then I'll go into just in one paragraph, I'll say your goals are doable. I don't know if you've been seeing the women on my page and the progress that they've been having, but this group has been so amazing and it's given me energy and blah, blah, blah. And you guys, like the biggest thing, this is the number one thing, is like, don't sell Beachbody products. Sell your group, because Beachbody does all the marketing for us. They spend millions on their products to advertise them. We don't have to advertise them. They speak for themselves. And if you're being a product of the product, in the messages, you got to sell the group, because anybody can go on Amazon, anybody can go on eBay, and unfortunately they can buy our products, but what they can't buy off Amazon or eBay are our groups. So I always sell the groups, and I always let them know that if it wasn't for these, in that message too, I say, if it wasn't for these groups, I would have been able to lose 5 pounds and 50 pounds in 5 sizes. And I say, if you would like to join this group, you'll just need to get a 1 bag supply of Shakeology through me and a Beachbody workout program. And I will say something like, Shakeology has changed my life. I don't take vitamins anymore. It makes me feel good and helps with my sugar cravings. And then I always put the ball in their court. I always say, let me know if you're interested. I have just a few spots left, but I would love to have you. And so you guys, like I said, I could have 20 spots left. It doesn't matter. I say, I have just a few spots left, but I would love to have you. And that way I let them get back to me. So I'm not being like pushy. I'm not like, do you want to do this right now? Like, obviously in my head, yeah, I want them to respond right away, but I put the ball in their court, and just kind of make it more nonchalant. And then once they respond and they're like, okay, I'm interested, then I send them, I say, okay, here's my link. You can go here and you can click on challenge packs to view all the challenge packs. My favorites are 21 Day Fix, Pio, and blah, 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 size. And I say my favorite Shakeology flavors are this and this. And here's another thing, you guys, that I do that builds tremendous trust with people. I tell them the flavor of Shakeology I do not like, okay? And that is greenberry, because I don't like greenberry, and I know some people do, and I'm sorry, but I don't like greenberry. And so anybody who is not a Beachbody coach, they're going to expect a Beachbody person to say they love all their products, okay? And if I go into a store and I know somebody's working for commission and they tell me that they love every single little thing, I'm like, do you really love every single thing, or are you just saying that because you're getting commission? So I will tell people in the message, I'll say, chocolate and cafe latte are my absolute favorites. I'll be honest and say I didn't like the greenberry, but I'm just telling you just to let you know. And they're always like, oh, thanks for telling me that. So that's another thing I do to build trust with them one-on-one. So just think of little things like that. You don't have to act like you love every single thing if you don't truly love it. But I do believe in promoting what you love also. So anything else, you guys?
Yeah, Josie, a few people have been typing in comments in the chat, but right before, if you want to read over them real quick. And while you're doing that, one thing that I just wanted to point out, because I want to make sure you guys notice, is the reason that Josie is able to do these things like leaving the ball in people's court and not having to be pushy with them is because she's proactively doing all of this not 2 days before the end of the month. This is something that happens in her business constantly. She's not waiting all month, not really doing her vitals, not really inviting, not really following up. And then the week before the end of the month, trying like a crazy person hit Success Club, stressing out over people who aren't answering her emails and not wanting to feel pushy. She doesn't have to deal with any of that because this is spread out through the whole month. And that's something that I do as well. And I think sometimes, especially new coaches, they think, well, nobody's going to want to sign up right before the challenge group. That's not necessarily true. You can be doing this and having these conversations all month long. That way you're not feeling like you're having to rush people through the process.
Yeah, it's really just about staying consistent the entire month. If I always aim for Success Club 10 every month, because there's no reason that with the volume of messages I get that I can't get that. So I always do that. But even Success Club 5 is just as important, I feel. I don't feel like, oh, I only hit 5. I hear people say that and I'm like, that's awesome. 5 is great. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. But if I haven't hit Success Club by the 15th, I'm stressed. I don't like that at all. That was me in December. It wasn't good. Okay, so any tips for engaging your challengers in the group? Okay, so the biggest thing with that is sometimes you just got to be a bitch. I will, in preseason, it's the last day of preseason, so it's the Sunday before the group starts. The Lord's Day, I lay down the law. I was like, okay, here are the rules for this group. No whining, no negativity. If you have, concerns or anything like that, feel free to post them in the group. But remember that we signed up to do something hard, and hard is doable. And I lay down a list of rules, and I say, if you can commit to these goals, I call them like my 3 golden rules. Like, if you can commit to these golden rules, comment below all in or whatever. And one of the rules is like, I'll post a motivational quote every morning. You drop your workout below. And I have coaches who won't post the rules because they're like, I don't want to be mean. And, but then they lack engagement in their group. And I'm like, what are you doing? Do you think Jillian Michaels doesn't lay down the law? Like, you guys are a coach. Now, I'm not saying like, be screaming at them or anything like that. But if you lay down the law in the beginning, you're setting a precedent, and it's your group, so it's really how you want it ran. But I have a lot of engagement in my groups. Granted, there will always be people that fall off, and there's really nothing you can do about it. But I do say in my rules that if they miss 2 assignments, I do 2 assignments a week. I say, if you miss more than 2 assignments, you're out of the group. And I say, I literally say, I will not hesitate to delete you no matter how much I like you. But if you can't stay committed to something or accountable to something you committed to, you don't deserve to watch the other women staying accountable to this group. Nobody's ever had a problem with it. I've never had somebody been like, this is so mean, I'm leaving the group. Like, I haven't. People like that, you guys. If people didn't want to coach, they wouldn't have messaged you. Okay, so I ask this all the time. Oh gosh, hold on. I ask this all the time for just about everyone to get more examples or options. Do you have some things to help me not come across as that creepy internet guy? I've had great replies before, and things are starting to get more comfortable, but it still feels weird as I'm getting to a point where I'm reaching out to women I don't know, as well as the first segment of people I've talked to the first couple months. Okay, so Jay, can you take yourself off mute? Okay. So how do you usually message a woman when you message her about like a challenge group or whatever?
I usually try and start out with, I know I don't know you that well. I'm running these things. These are the successes I've had in the past. And I try and find the people that have either liked my post or have shown interest in doing some other fitness things in the past.
Okay, all right, so right there, I know I don't know you that well, take that out. Because any girl who doesn't know you and you message that, they're gonna be like, he's hitting on me. Like, right, ladies? Like, that's what we do. We're like, who is this guy? Don't you see I'm married? Like, whatever. It's what we do as women. So what I would do if I was you, I would just take a bold approach to that, because when women, this is the thing, when women get hit on, they expect those like subtle things, like, I know I don't know you that well, I saw you liked my post or had interest. That's when you can be like, hey, with like a bunch of exclamation points, saw you like my post, just wanted to let you know about this. I've had a lot of women have success. It's a fun group. Like, talk up the fun factor of it and be like, it's all private. We have women and men in there if you have men in there. And leave it short and sweet. And be like, you can even mention in that message, if you have a spouse that you want to do this with you, I'd be more than happy to coach you guys together. But just be really energetic, keep it fun and short and sweet and to the point. Did you follow that effing guy, Trey?
No, I don't think that one's on my list.
Okay, follow him. It's that effing guy.
It's so funny.
He's freaking hilarious. But basically, he comes off as that like, hey, like, that really like, yo. And that's the type of guy that women think of as like a good guy friend versus somebody who's trying to hit on them. And I know you're not trying to hit on them by any means. You're just trying to work your business. But I think that approach will help you more. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, awesome. So do you switch up content for your groups every month for daily posts, or do you completely change it up? I'm like, when I start getting burnt out on groups, it's not good. So I will usually like every few months come up with like an entire different thing for my group. Like I've literally done a group before, like all my original assignments were based off the book, The Compound Effect. That's the #1 book I recommend to like all my coaches. You know, it was what Lindsay recommended to me. So I usually will still use the majority of those assignments, but like I've done I've done a challenge group that was solely around the compound effect. And I said, you know, like if you want to be in this group, you'll have to get a challenge pack. You'll also need to get this book because we'll be discussing it through the group. And I was so worried about how that group would go because I was like, are people really gonna like be able to keep up with the book and whatnot? It was one of my best books. And guess what? I attracted people like me, book lovers, and it was wonderful. It was just this awesome energy in the book as we each got to like discuss it and whatnot. I've done sugar-free groups. Usually when you start getting an idea for a group, you guys write it down. And if that idea kind of scares you and you're worried about if people won't go for it, that's usually the group that's going to give you massive success. So like before I started intuitively eating, when I used to be sugar-free, I didn't eat any processed sugar, so I ate a lot of fruit. But I remember being like, okay, I want to run a group on this, but I'm so scared because people tell me I'm crazy all the time for being sugar-free. But I decided to go with it, and those are some of my best groups. So usually I will just post like a motivational quote daily from Pinterest or something, and I'll have the comment below with their workout. But the assignments, every once in a while, I'll change them up. But in my Boss Ladies Coach Mentor group, we have one big thread that's a pin post at the top with everyone's assignments. And I say, whenever you have a really good assignment that you've created or that you've used in your group, post it in this comment. And sometimes I'll just go and grab one from there if I know I have like a lot of repeat challengers, that way just to switch it up. Just don't overthink it. Okay, favorite PD audio video for attraction marketing. Okay, Contagious. I can't remember who that's by, Becca, but that's, was it by Simon Sinek? No, it was by somebody. Okay, let me go to my Audible real fast. I love Audible. Okay, so for attraction marketing, I didn't necessarily read any books to learn how to attraction market. I just always try and keep it real. But I would definitely recommend the Willpower Instinct. So it's called the Willpower. Sorry, it started playing. It's called the Willpower Instinct. It's by Kelly McGonigal. She's a PhD at Stanford. And I'm not even through the book. I'm halfway through it, and it's one of the most amazing books I've ever read. But basically, if you want to learn how to attraction market, you want to read some books on psychology that like tell you how people think, because that will help you tremendously. But this book is amazing, and it will help you in your life, business, and learning about others. I don't really necessarily read books for attraction marketing, but I do Get Your Shit Together by Ruth Field. That was great. And I would probably say, if you haven't already read The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, that's a great book. And honestly, any great idea I've ever had for a post or for a challenge group, it all came from personal development. Okay, yeah, I can send you those rules. Just somebody remind me and I'll just like copy and paste. I'm not like super organized. Okay, if you start a group on the 1st of the month and someone decides they want to join on the 15th, what do you do? Let them join late or have them wait? Okay, so when preseason starts on a Monday, I give them until Wednesday to order their challenge pack and join, because otherwise I don't like add people late. I think they're too behind and they usually fall out. But what I do is I talk up the next group and I already create the group for it. And now I just say, we start in just a few weeks. I always say just a few, or just a link to that group. and I'll say, go ahead and request to join. Right when the group starts or right before preseason, I'll go ahead and I'll add you in, or I'll add you in then. But that way they have the link and I don't have to worry about trying to add them into a group later. And then I say, like, let me know when you get your stuff and if you have any questions, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I usually do. Yeah, Contagious by Jonah Berger. Or Berger, however you say his last name. Okay, I have a question about like pages versus personal pages, but I think it might be too long to type out if you have time. Krista, come off mute, wherever you are. There she is. Can't hear you. That's okay. Oh, she's frozen. Okay, Krista, we'll come. Can you hear us? Can you talk? Do you have audio?
Oh, it's weird. She's not muted.
Okay, that's okay. Krista, why don't you type it up? If you can't get audio, type it up, and I'll go to Lisa. Lisa, you guys said you had a question about like pages. So Krista, you type up your message. Okay, Lisa, where are you? Okay, girl, go for it.
Hey, so I have questions. In mid-January took the leap, and I've listened to Danielle Natoni talk about like pages, and she's all like, if you're going to take the leap, go all in. Don't post on your public page, only post on your like page, then tag yourself. Okay, so I did it, and it's freaking me out a little bit, not gonna lie. I made it through a whole month and hit Success Club 10, which thank the Lord.
Okay, so it worked.
Yeah, but my engagement's super, super low. It's way better than it was before when I was just like posting the same things or sharing. And my likes are going up. So, I mean, like, it is working. It's just, I don't know, slow. So I feel like I messaged you the other day about a giveaway and all of that stuff. But I don't know. Any tips on how to get engagement up on like pages? Like, because I feel like actually, I know it. I've asked my success partners and other people. They're not seeing my posts, even though I'm tagging myself in them.
Okay, so yeah, I think Danielle Tony's great. I didn't realize she said don't post on your personal timeline, because that's what I have said forever. I tell my girls, like, don't, like, because here's the thing. When I first started my page, I was posting on both, and it started becoming this like juggling act, and I was like constantly trying to balance one or the other, and it was exhausting. And so I started probably after about 8 months of having my page, I started having more engagement on my page than I did on my timeline with my friends. Okay, so that kind of pissed me off, because I'm like, wait a minute, like, y'all are my friends, but I'm getting more engagement and likes and comments from people I don't even know. And there were times when I'd post something on my timeline that I wished it was a good post, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had posted this on my page. And it was just too much. And finally I said, you know what? We teach people how to treat us. So I'm going to teach my friends that if they want to see what I'm up to, they can come to my like page. And I completely stopped posting on my timeline. The only thing I post on my timeline is maybe like I'll share something about puppies or something, but literally that's it. And I'll post pictures of my albums, but that's it. I only post on my page. What I would recommend to up your engagement is do everything I said about the attraction marketing, sharing your struggles, showing that you're not perfect, talking about stuff other than Beachbody and fitness and food, like, unless it's like cake, because people like to see people eating cake and stuff. But like, literally, like, show you living your life and show you having fun, and like, make yourself seem more exciting than you are. Now, I'm not saying like lie about your life. I'm not saying that, but you need to believe in yourself and make yourself kind of seem bigger than you are. But that's all I've done. And I have really good engagement. And I see coaches who have like over 20,000 likes, and they get like maybe 2 likes per post, or like not even any comments. And I'm like, that would suck. Like, I love the engagement I get from my followers. And when you reply to them in the comments, just like keep it light and airy and be like, thanks girl. Like, you know, like don't mention anything about challenge group or something like that. With the Facebook algorithms, when you make a post, don't tag yourself in it or share it until hours later. And the reason is because if you tag yourself or share it right away, Facebook instantly limits your views. So,
Good to know. Okay, because I was playing around with that, and I actually thought it might be better to do it like immediately. But no, you think wait a little bit later?
no, I know, wait later, because Facebook limits your views because it sees that you're trying to share it to other things, and it kind of like marks it as spammy. And basically, what Facebook wants is for you to pay for, you know, people to see and whatnot. So what I'll do is I'll wait a few hours and then I'll share it and tag myself. And that's when I seem to get more views. But keeping consistent, post like 3 times a day. I don't usually post on like Saturdays too much, or Friday nights because obviously nobody's on. But throughout the week, like be posting consistently and be posting all those things I talked about, you know, like your stances, your beliefs, everything. And it will take time, but it will build up. And you always have to go business wise. It makes more sense. It's smarter to go for whatever gives you the most growth in the future. And that would be a like page, because for one, your friends list will cap out at 5,000. 2, if Facebook knows you're trying to sell stuff on your personal timeline, they could actually delete your entire account.
Right.
So a like page, you can sell stuff, but you can't do that on your timeline. So that's something to be careful about too. So a page has way more growth opportunity. Also, never post a YouTube link or Pinterest link or anything like that in your post, because Facebook will limit the views. So what I do is I posted a video yesterday to Facebook, and then in the comments I put, if you want to see these videos first, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I put the link. And then in another comment, I put, if you want to pin this video to refer back to it later, click on this link. I believe that you need to have 3 platforms, honestly, just to be smart about your business. I don't think that we should put all our eggs in one basket. So I say pick 3 platforms. For me, it's Facebook, YouTube, and Pinterest. And those are the things I try and post on. Obviously, I post on Facebook the most. There will be times when like one will kind of lag. Just get back to it. But be thinking about having 3 things. And one of those things is your blog. You know, like Becca has a beautiful website. Like my website is just a mess. But like whatever you can do, like just stick to it.
Yeah. And I think that's really important because, like Josie said earlier, you don't want to get stuck in your systems or in your creation. Like, you want to have action. So don't spend all your time, you know, going back and forth on what's the right platform for me and what's the right, just pick one. And so there's a, in the photography world, there's this saying, the best camera for you, because all new photographers, when they get into the business, it's just like coaching. They're gonna, you know, send a photographer that's really well respected a message that says, what's the best photographer, or what's the best camera for me? Because there's so many options. Just like new coaches say, what's the best platform for me? And there's this quote in photography, the best camera for you is the one that you have in your hand, like the one that you're going to use. And it's the same in coaching. The best social media thing for you is whatever you're going to do consistently. So if you're not going to put the time and effort into a Facebook fan page, that's totally okay. Pick something you will. Maybe it's Instagram, maybe it's a blog, whatever. It doesn't really matter, because the principles are the same across the board. Each one has its benefits and, you know, drawbacks and good and bad. It really is just what you feel like is a good fit for you. So this is really great for people who are interested in Facebook business pages, fan pages, like pages, whatever you want to call them. If that like gives you hives, the thought of that, that's okay. Like, you don't have to try and fit your round peg into this square hole, but you can still use these principles for whatever platform you want to use. If you're on a different one and you're building the same things about consistency and authenticity and, you know, sharing your opinions and attraction marketing. So just wanted to give that little disclaimer so that not everyone stays up till 3 a.m. trying to build a page.
And honestly, like Becca and I were talking about at the retreat, Becca was like, I love Instagram. And I'm like, really? Like, I'm like, I hate it. But that's just us. But she doesn't like Facebook as much. She likes Instagram more. But that's fine. Like Instagram to me, it's like, I feel on it, like I feel too pressured. I feel like it's too superficial. I feel like my pictures aren't that perfect. And I feel like I connect better to others on Facebook. Becca was like, I feel more pressured on Facebook. I feel like I have to have a picture of my dog and my family and my son and all of this. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So we totally had two different perspectives, but it's about what makes you feel most comfortable. I will say, like she said, don't stay up till like 3 a.m. But if you are posting on Facebook regularly, you might as well just move it to a page, honestly, because it's just kind of like another outlet. And I don't know, like on pages you have the auto saved replies, which saves me a ton of time. I don't know. I mean, because this is the thing with a page. I think people start a page and they're like, okay, I can only post about fitness, recipes, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, like post about things that interest you. Like if you're like a makeup girl, or if you like fashion, or if you're like, if you love to do it yourself crafts with your kids, like post about it. Like nobody wants to follow the same thing over and over. If you were reading a magazine and it was the same content on every page, you would put it down. And I see a lot of coaches constantly update their cover photo on their personal timeline with just to let everybody know I've moved. And like, I feel like there have been some coaches I have seen say I've moved like 5 times in like the last 3 months. And I'm like, what are you doing? But like, then they'll start going back to their personal page or their personal timeline and post on that again. And then they'll do okay, I moved. And then I still see them posting on both. And I'm like, you're confusing the crap out of your followers. And it seems like you don't really have a firm grasp on what you're doing. So I think you do need to pick one and stick with it. And like, if you're tagging yourself in your photos, what people do when they go to your timeline, they click on your photos first and they scroll through those tagged photos. Okay. That's what I did before I signed up with Lindsay and I was creeping on her. That's what people do. So it's not like they're going to miss out on your life. They're still going to see your life. So that's just something to keep in mind. So I started inviting those that like my post. Good plan. That really just depends on how you invite, honestly. So like what I've done before is when I get a new page, like I'll message somebody and I'll be like, hey girl, thanks for liking, or I saw you liked my page. I'll have to message them from my personal. It won't let me message them from my page. So I'll message them from my personal and I'll say, hey girl, I saw you like my page. I'll put Josie Quits Cake in parentheses. And I'll say, thanks for the support. If there's ever anything you'd like to see more content of on my page, just let me know. Have an awesome week. And I leave it at that. I'm not like, what are your goals? So I leave it at that. And some people don't reply. Some people do. And they're like, thanks, keep up the great work. And like, whatever, like I'm planting seeds and they're going to see it because now, thank God, stuff doesn't go into the other folder. Like they get a message request to approve or decline it, but they can see it and read it right away. So you are planting seeds. You'll invite them to like my page if they're like, yeah, oh yeah, I always invite people. It's so weird to me when people like my post, but they haven't liked my page. I'm like, so yeah, I totally invite them to like it. I have no shame. And it's so funny because like I'm not a huge fan of giveaways. The one, I don't want people on my page who are only there for free stuff. I'll do a giveaway like maybe twice a year. 2, marketing wise, it doesn't really boost my likes that much at all. I get more likes from doing like target marketing or maybe once in a while boosting a really good post. But so giveaways, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of those. But like I've had people where I'm like, I do a giveaway and I'm like, you have to like this post to be entered to win the giveaway, and you have to like my page. And like there will be people who enter the giveaway, but they haven't liked my page, and they're like supposed to be friends of mine who I grew up with, and I'm like, okay, I see you. So don't take it personally. That's just life. Okay, somebody posted, Jen, let me find your question. I have a question above. Let me find it. You said that you send people to your page with a list of all the challenge packs and tell them to look them over. I've been trying to pick the programs out for them. I'll pick 3 for them to pick from based off of asking them a series of questions to understand their needs and likes. Is that something you do? Can you explain what you do? I used to do that. It's not wrong. However, I found like it got to the point where it was like I was recommending the same programs over and over because they're the ones I had done. And I mean, they were the most popular programs. And a lot of times, I don't think I'd recommend 3. I felt like that was too much. I'd recommend 2. And it got to the point where a lot of them were like, oh, I have that program. Or, oh, this and this. And, you know, like, so to me, it's much better. I'll read you exactly what I send to people. I just literally send them the link and I'll say, you can look over the challenge packs. And I found out my Rockstar coach, the one who gets more Success Club points than me, she was doing that. Not only did it save her time, but you got to think back to before you became a coach. Like I remember looking over all those challenge packs and kind of like getting excited about them. And it lets them look over the site and all the challenge packs and realize that there are a lot of programs. So once they're done with this one, they can do another one. Let me see. Okay, I don't know where I put it. Oh yeah, but you can go to Team Beachbody, blah, blah, then click on Beachbody Challenge Packs, and pick the one that you want to do. Let me know once you've picked one, and I'll send you the link to join the group, and then I tell them about my favorite Shakeology flavors, and that I didn't like Greenberry, and I leave it at that. So what you're doing is not wrong by picking a few for them. I do tell them my favorite ones, but I say, here's the challenge pack link. You can go ahead and look over all of them. So I hope you guys got a lot of insight from this call. Sorry to go over so long. I can get rambling.
No, that's perfect. We're just 10 minutes over, so that was great. Thank you so much, Josie. I know there are a few people who didn't get their questions answered, but I want to cut it off to be respectful of everybody's time because it's getting late for us East Coasters. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you, Josie. Obviously, great insight, great shares, great helpfulness. Thank you for sticking around for some question and answer. That was awesome.
No problem.
And we hope to see you again soon.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.